Welcome to the Onward Opinion channel. This is December 21st, 4 days before Christmas. It's Monday afternoon, and you can see it's golden hour. If you look over here, you will see the sun beaming beautifully through the evening. I'm coming to you because we're moving closer to the January 5th runoff election in Georgia, where 2 seats are up in the U.S. Senate. We have 2 people sitting in office, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, 2 people here in Georgia who have supported the attempt to overthrow the will of the Georgia voters. They signed on to a lawsuit trying to turn over the Georgia elections filed by someone in the state of Texas, the Texas Attorney General. Under the U.S. Constitution, elections are a state matter. And unless they violate the 14th or 15th Amendment as interpreted by Congress in the 1965 Civil Rights Act, they cannot be overturned. But this is what Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue signed in on. So they were traitors to the state of Georgia. They tried to follow the attempts of an outsider, a Texan, to overthrow our votes that we made, saying that our mail-in and absentee ballots shouldn't be counted. I'm a senior citizen. I voted absentee, dropped off my ballot in a drop box under Georgia law. But they, as stupid as they may be, they wanted to overturn those ballots. We must show these traitors that this behavior is unacceptable. We must vote on January 5th, and I'm wearing masks. Unfortunately, people around me are not, but we live in Georgia. We must make sure we vote to throw these 2 people sitting in the U.S. Senate out of office. Kelly Loeffler was appointed to fill the seat that was held by the former senator.
Mommy, I just got that static electricity shock.
Kelly Loeffler was appointed to fill a seat by the former senator who resigned due to health concerns. And she is close to a billionaire, married to the head of the New York Stock Exchange, who gives a hoot about the people of Georgia. She has made openly racist attacks, lying about, Raphael Warner. I got another person approaching me with no mask on, typical of the savages in Georgia. This is why the rate of infection is so high. We must vote. We must throw these bums out. It's not just a matter for the people here in the state of Georgia. It's a matter for the people of the United States. The U.S. Senate is 2 votes shy of being equally Republican and Democratic. And the 2 votes in Georgia would make the Senate 50-50. And right now it's 50 to 48. If it was 50 to 50, then Kamala Harris, the vice president-elect, would have the deciding vote on any piece of legislation before the U.S. Senate. So if you live in Georgia, if you live in our state, come out and vote. Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue have been, in particular, attacking the vote in areas where African Americans live, in Fulton County and DeKalb County in particular, also in Chatham County. We cannot take this. We've seen Kelly Loeffler's, we've seen David Perdue's before. My generation's parents had to deal with them. They used to be in the Democratic Party. They used to be called Dixiecrats. The racists, the segregationists who kept us from voting, who made my grandfather read Latin after he read the Constitution and still would not let him register to vote, even though he was a principal of a high school, had been vice president of Florida A&M College. Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are the same kind of redneck, old-fashioned racists that we had to deal with in years before. We're in a period that's very similar to the 1870s in the United States, after the Tilden Hayes election, when Rutherford B. Hayes won the Electoral College, but Tilden had won the popular vote, and the South threatened to secede from the nation a second time. Again, treason. And the North, to keep them from doing this, agreed to remove troops from the South, which had been there since the Civil War ended in 1865, and they allowed us to be sacrificed and our rights to be denied, and what became known as Jim Crow. That's the history. That's who Trump and his Republican colleagues, Mitch McConnell, Turtle Man himself, that's who they are modeled after. This is not new. Please understand this. This is as American and as apple pie. America has not been a good country for most of its history. The myths that you're taught in school are just that. They're myths, they're lies, they're hypocrisy. As Malcolm used to say, you've been bamboozled, you've been fooled. America lies about its history. It lies about democracy. For most of its history, America has been a racist country which has treated people who are black, people who are brown, people who are yellow, Asians, in a very bad way. A lot of Asians aren't familiar with the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1885, which forcibly excluded Chinese from immigrating to the United States. In fact, Chinese, after working on the railroads, were driven off the land throughout the West and had to flee to the cities of San Francisco and New York. That's why there's some large old Chinatowns there. But there were Chinese here in this country as far back as the 1780s. Mexico, from Texas to California, was a part of Mexico. It was stolen by the United States in a imperialistic war. First, the Texas War, and then what's known as the Mexican Cession, when the U.S. Marine Corps surrounded the palace of the President of Mexico and demanded that he sign over the territory of the land west of Texas to California to the United States. You were taught in school as the Mexican Cession. This was Yankee imperialism under the banner of manifest destiny. When people talk about Mexicans, illegal immigrants, the hypocrisy makes me sick. Half of the United States, or more than half of the United States, was Mexico. This was their territory. America is the mother of lies. It's an imperial power built on slave labor and stolen land from the indigenous peoples. Mexico is 68% indigenous blood. What Westerners and Americans mistakenly call Indians, because Columbus was too stupid to know where he was. He thought he was in India. So, not Indians. All I'm saying to you is vote Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue out. They are bad people. They are not our friends. In fact, they are our enemies. They have tried to throw away our hard-won right to vote. Are we going to sit back and tolerate this? They and their allies have spent millions of dollars of TV. It's hard to watch TV here in Georgia, especially during the news hour, to see the lies being spread against Reverend Warnock by the hypocrites, by the lies of both the PACs and the campaigns of David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. We have got to get out and vote. I have voted absentee. I've checked online on the Georgia My Voter page, and my vote has counted. Early voting in the precincts has started. If you don't want to do absentee voting, you don't want to do mail-in voting, find out the closest location and vote. We have to defeat Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. These people are bad people. They have tried to disenfranchise us, take away our votes. They have been traitors to the people of Georgia. But they tried to throw out our votes and have the legislature decide who the delegates are to the Electoral College. Understand, in America, we don't directly elect the president. America is not a direct democracy. We have an Electoral College. The Electoral College is made up of the people, of representatives, based upon the number of votes in the popular vote that people get. But ultimately, if the popular vote is not resolved under the Constitution, it could theoretically go to state legislature to decide. That's what they're trying to do because it's Republican dominated. Why are they doing this? What's really going on? It's all about demographic change. America is becoming increasingly black, brown, and yellow, and white people are scared. I think it's funny. It's pathetic. I think it's also justice. America's changing. And they can't handle it. They're afraid. They think we'll be like them. We're better than them. We're not going to treat them badly. We know what it's like. But they feel guilty. So anyway, that's what this vlog is about. Get out and vote if you live in the state of Georgia. If you don't live in the state of Georgia, you can't vote, but you can volunteer. Go online, look up the campaigns of John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, and volunteer. You can do phone banking for those campaigns, make calls. I've actually received calls from people from out of the state of Georgia. And I always send back a copy of my Georgia voter page registration and slip showing that I've already voted. All right, folks, have a nice day. Hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to this channel, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, resistance is not futile. Have a good day.